Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Alt Kings podcast. I'm your host, Tate, with my co-host, Corbin, and today we have Earthlings. Earthlings is the first gaming metaverse on Hedera, where the worlds come together, no nationalities, no boundaries, just Earthlings. With their founder, Patrick. It's nice to have you today, Patrick. Heard many great things, seen you in many spaces, many YouTube videos. I mean, seen you on HBAR Bull's channel as well. And overall, it's just been great. You know, you've been out there spreading the positive words of Earthlings and continuing to grow not only your business, but the framework around a very structured metaverse. That is a not necessarily a metaverse, but a play-to-earn game in a sense.
Yeah, it's more, early on we already saw that it's more actually a game than a metaverse. That's the most important thing. So it's good that you say it like that, because I started off the concept with a metaverse game. We switched it around soon enough, a gaming metaverse. And here's a nice fun fact that I think is fun to know, because I think it's actually the gaming industry that came with the metaverse concept first. They never got credit for that. But let's be honest, a metaverse is where you dive into a new reality online. You immerse yourself in a fantasy world, more or less realistic. But that's what gaming already does. And there people already come together in groups and meet each other, make new friends. So actually, they deserve credit for that. So we saw that early on, that gaming should be the focus and then the metaverse. So
incredible.
Going a little sideways here. Sorry, guys.
You're totally fine.
Thank you for your time.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm just so excited. I'm so excited and happy that you're here today, because we have so much to dive into. And, you know, overall, you guys have so much. It's not even like we're going to be able to fit it all into 1 hour, but we can try our best, you know.
We'll give it our best. That's enough.
All right. First question. When, why, and how did you start the project?
Not even too long ago, actually. It was, I think, April. Maybe a month earlier that I came up with the idea, but April last year that I started this whole project. I started writing the white paper down. First one that I wanted to onboard was my brother, because I think what I missed most when I looked at a lot of these projects is the graphic design part of these projects. Sometimes you see these projects with some amazing 3D images, but their marketing doesn't look that well. NFTs don't look that well, and a lot of other stuff as well. So my brother is a graphic designer, and you can see that come back in the NFTs that he designs. So for instance, the post stamps, but also the 3D items. I give them to Marcel. He makes an NFT out of it, and it looks even twice as good. So I needed my brother to join as well, and he loved the idea, the concept. We were both already very much in love with the whole new blockchain technology, and we are actually crypto enthusiasts. But then Marcel told me we need someone else as well, someone who has more knowledge about technology. Because don't ask me any techno questions, because I'm from the design industry. I'm not a programmer or whatever. So I know now, of course, a bit about blockchain and stuff, but that's just a little. So we needed a programmer, and that's Jorgo. Jorgo is the third founder. We showed him, after I wrote it down, Marcel designed it a bit, and then we showed it to Jorgo, and he fell in love with it. He said, yeah, I think everything blockchain is going to be, because it's going to be a success, because the whole blockchain industry is an emerging market, he said. So if I can now be a part of that through something like this, I'm in. So Jorgo is, for instance, the one who made the map that we have on the website. After just a few days, he already knew how to mint on Hedera. Says a lot about Hedera. Also a bit about Jorgo, but we'll come back to Hedera a little bit later, I guess. So then we had the team together, the three stooges, and we started this project. Then I spent a lot of time finding new people to help out with the 3D parts. And in the meantime, now that we are so many months further, we've got an amazing team. So why did we actually decide to do this? It's actually also because we saw there was an opening. Actually, there was still space for new projects where projects in our opinion, should focus more on quality, on design, transparency, and those were things that we were looking at. So we thought it was very important to be transparent about who we are from the start. So we had our faces on the website. We are a fully registered company in the Netherlands, so you can even find that on the internet and see our address. I think that's something that's very important in the crypto space, especially because of all the media making the crypto space a bit ridiculous, down talking on it. I don't agree on that, by the way, because let's be honest, I've met a lot of scammers outside of the crypto space. But the media likes to see it differently now. I think that's going to change soon enough when everything is going to go on the blockchain. But that's another subject, of course. So, where were we? Setting up the company. We're onboarding people now, still growing, still more even with onboarding programmers on the background. And
nice.
Yeah. What else can I say? Well, I was going to say it's been a wild ride, and we love it every day.
A question just came up into my head. Obviously, from what you've said, you are a registered business in the Netherlands. I'm curious, how much does it cost to create a game of this nature? This game, I figured it did, but I figured that you had a lot of in-house development as well, which can really take away from some of that cost, which is nice. A lot actually probably just covers that answer. I'm not going to ask for a number or anything, but
very much a lot. And the thing is, why can we build this? Well, first of all, Marcel, me, and Jorgo, we have. I've got a passive income, so I can dedicate all my time to this project. Where Jorgo and Marcel still have to do it a bit on the sidelines, so they work a lot on the weekends and in the evenings. And when it's a bit more quiet on their work, they work full days as well. But we work without an income. We don't draw any money out of it. Instead, we actually are pouring money into it. In this case, luckily, only with our time, because we had some good sales, of course. But we have a lot of team members, dedicated team members, that also still work without pay. But more importantly is that we've got our development team. We made our own development team. You could actually say we have our own game studio now. And I onboarded the last missing piece 1.5 weeks ago. So now we're 100% complete. And because of that, we can build very on a lower budget than other projects. I've spoken to someone who said they paid about 20,000 euros for an avatar. And that's mind-blowing. Yeah, if you talk about those figures, then you really need an insane amount of money to build something like this. But because we're doing everything in our own team, I found some great builders all over the world. Even if I don't sell any item anymore within for the next 2-3 years, I can still keep on building. But a little slower then. That's the only thing, but we can still do it, and I think that's also the strength of our project, that we have an income. We are not we don't need to draw out anything. We can still just put in everything into the project, and we've got experience in setting up companies as well. All three of us, we had our companies. And I think that's one of the strong points of our project. If this bear market continues for a bit longer, we had some nice green candles last weeks, but they're going down a bit now again. But if we are in a prolonged bear market, it wouldn't stop us from building. We are set to finish this and to deliver a great game, and that's what we intend to do. And
I look forward to it.
Me too. I hope that answers your question a bit.
My last question now regarding this nature is, have you taken any grants, or I assume all the funding's either been through personal funding or just the NFT sales?
Yeah, I think I got the whole question now. No, we didn't get any grants. Well, if anyone wants to give us a grant, well, welcome, of course. That's always cool. But most money came now from our own expenses. And NFT sales, and that will keep us building for a long way still. But grants are welcome. Tell your friends.
Yeah, I know the HBAR Foundation was giving out some in the past. I'm not too sure if they're still doing that.
Mm-hmm.
Well, with or without a grant, we'll continue building either way. But yeah, so for the project, we will still continue. But give us $1 million and we'll build it even faster. That's the only difference.
Your guys' story is cool. It reminds me a lot of I don't know if you ever heard of a game called No Man's Sky. Essentially, it's this massive game. Everything is procedurally generated. Like everything's like random. It's you can go across to different planets and you can terraform and all that good stuff. But that game is created by a studio called Hello Games, and they have a team. I kid you not, of like 15 people for this like massive game. And I'm like, whew, that's that sounds difficult. But hey, having a small knit team. Communication is really, really good. Everybody knows what they need to do. Everybody can, sort of converse with each other quickly, easily. It's not like this massive team across, multiple, countries or states or whatever. I like the approach.
It'd be difficult to manage.
Well, if you have a dedicated team, yeah, that too. But if you have a dedicated team, that helps a lot as well. Of course, we've got 3 amazing builders now working on the towns. They work day and night. They want this to succeed so much, and it's so fun to see what the speed that they're building with. That's amazing. That's one, but also the quality. Sometimes you just find these gems, and we were lucky enough to find them. Cost me a lot of time, and we have a great relation. Actually, all of these, a lot of these team members, they become my friends as well. So we see each other as colleagues, and we don't like the boss worker relationship. We're just we're building this together. I can't do without them. They can't do without me. We're a team and we're building this together. And I love how to see that all my team members, they get along very well and they are so dedicated to building this. And it's great to see.
Because you have one universal goal.
Yeah, we do. That's true. If this thing hits off, now let's say when this thing hits off, I like the positive approach. When it hits off, then it's a big win for them as well. So the whole team will then, of course,
for sure
get better of it.
For sure. What actually? Wait, I have a better way to word this. So you guys were the first gaming metaverse. As a metaverse gaming style project, we could probably be here for a few hours just talking about this. But what separates you guys from other projects that are trying to do a metaverse type of thing here?
Yeah, we touched on it a little already. So I think I didn't finish it when I answered the first question. Wow, that's me. But indeed, we look a lot more at design. We really want to compete with AAA gaming. So what is AAA gaming? It's just, of course, what you think it is, what you make out of it. But to me, it's quality gaming with not only quality gameplay, but also with great design. So that is what we thought was still lacking a bit in this space. And that's what we're trying to make up for now. And this also sometimes means that, sometimes you need to take a step back to redo stuff. I've been throwing stuff in the dustbin a lot, redoing it because we saw that we needed to do it better. Just like I just mentioned, we had a studio that under-delivered, and now I see myself in a position where I need to redo something all over again in a shorter time frame. But we rather deliver a little late with something that people say, wow, that looks great, because I need to use it for years, then under-deliver a bit too early and having to redo it then because people are disappointed. So those are some things that we take very seriously. We think if you have, let's say, for instance, if you go to Steam where you have all these games, what do you first look at? You look at maybe at storyline, but mainly the image. Does the gameplay? If you look at the screenshots of the game, if it looks ugly, you're not going to try it out. So it needs to look amazing. So that's something that we think is very important. And then, of course, we talked about the transparency. We think it's very important as a team to be transparent. Don't avoid the difficult questions. And after that, of course, same importance as design, becomes gameplay, and that needs to be fun as well. So that's where our focus is, and where do we differ more is that we're not outsourcing. Well, sometimes you do outsource little things, but we do have our main studio complete now, our own gaming studio actually, and that makes us build faster and also keep a close eye on design and quality, because I'm on top of that. So that's actually my department. I'm always talking all day with designers and programmers for the game.
Where are you developing the game at, by chance? What game engine?
Unreal Engine 5.
I thought so.
And that's always a nice question, because I like Unity a lot. Both have something to say to go for. Of course, it's not. I don't think it's either one or the other, because we're building a mini game now, browser based, and we might have to rebuild some stuff in Unity just for this little game. We'll see. I still have to talk about it with Quinten. But for the main game, we did find that Unreal Engine delivers way better colors. We started with Unity at first, because I found a Unity builder that wanted to join us. So I said, okay, why not? Let's see what Unity has. And we tried out so many scenes, and we just couldn't get the quality that I wanted. And I said, but look at this game. Looks amazing. Yeah, but that's Unreal. Okay, let's try to make that in Unity. Didn't work. And now look at this game. Yeah, but that's Unreal. So then we said, okay, we're going to go with Unreal. I had to quit with this builder back then. But actually, I'm very happy with Quinten now. He's an amazing guy, and he's an Unreal programmer, and he's leading the whole technical part. And actually, I always tell Quinten, it's your little game. You do know that, yeah? Okay, I'm just steering you a bit in the direction, but it's your game, Quinten. So yeah, he's an amazing guy, and he found us two other people as well. Quinten is from Belgium, by the way. So we've got 3 Belgian programmers or builders there. Yeah, so yeah, I really like that. The Dutch and the Belgian, they get along well. You know that? Really. We have a big mouth, and the Belgian are so super polite. So the Dutch always talk a lot, as you can see. But that goes together so nicely. Yeah, the Belgian people, they are awesome.
That's amazing.
Yeah, that's very cool. Yeah, Unreal Engine 5 is, dude. I have nothing but good things to say about it. It's so scalable, and it has so much customization to really grind down to like what you need it to do for your particular situation. It's not like shoehorning in. Like if you need to make a specific type of game, it's not. It's like an everyman's type of engine. So it's not like EA had with Frostbite, where they had the engine for Battlefield, and they're like, hey, you know what we're gonna do for this, giant multiplayer like shooter type of game, right? Hey, we're gonna make a racing game out of it. Like, no. And then we had terrible Need for Speeds for forever, but but yeah, no, yeah.
Oh, I must say, because Unreal Engine 5, it's not out for too long now, and it still has some bugs here and there. So, but luckily we've got Quinten. I always say, Quinten, not my problem, your problem. So, and he fixes it then. So, but it's it will only get better, of course. It's
in the banking world, people say they have their quant, which is their quantitative, like their math guy. You have your quint.
Yeah. I love the guy. Don't tell him, because he can never leave. He's not allowed to leave. I need to copy him. So, but he'll stick around. He'll stick around. I'm not going to tell him that we did this interview, by the way. I don't think it's good.
So yeah, that leads into my next question, which is going to be your in-game Steam tokens. So how are those going to be implemented in the game? How are they going to work?
Yeah, if you go into the game, you can have this. The first gameplay that we're going to have is, for instance, that you can look on the map for the psychic animals or lost technology that you can then combine with your animals at a tech shop. things like that. But everything that you find there, you can of course sell on the marketplace. You can do that with Steam, but in the game you can also take a train to another continent, for instance. You need to pay a little Steam for that as well. So there's going to be a whole in-game economy. Also, for instance, you're going to have rewards if you have a bank. You can claim some Steam rewards every now and then. Still need to write out this in-game economy more specifically, but you can use it in many ways, and that's the nice thing about adding the metaverse to it as well, because you can have shops, and some of these shops can be connected to real real world shops, of course, as well. And also there you can see how you can work in Steam. So there's many ways that you can use Steam, and not only as other. You see a lot of games, of course, where you can collect tokens, even as treasures. By the way, we can hide them as treasure as well. But you can also do contests in the game and earn Steam. It's actually, the possibilities are endless. And that's a nice thing about combining metaverse with gaming. You've got even more possibilities. And another thing that I'll touch on then as well, that's what I like so much about the whole blockchain environment, is that it's also easier to integrate other projects even into your gameplay. So yeah, there's actually so many options with the Steam token, but I guess that gamers will use it most to get their ride to another continent, or to pay someone in the game to help them out on a quest, stuff like that. Because it is the in-game.
Sure. Will you be able to buy like land with it or other NFTs with the Steam token?
Yeah, other NFTs, of course. Yeah, land. I guess so. We're not that far yet, but I don't see why not. It is also an NFT. Sure. So yeah, nice. I don't see why not.
And then on this land, you'll be able to really create whatever you want on it, I assume, depending on obviously the scale of it.
Yes and no. There comes the designer in Marcel and me around the corner, because the thing is, we're building something that we like gamers to. Gamers need to fancy our game. We don't want just landowners, because that's something that other metaverses are struggling with. For instance, they sell all this land, and then when they open up, they've got a lot of landowners, but these landowners are not gamers. But we want to attract gamers. Why? Because these landowners, they'll just sit there and hoping that their land will increase in value, whatever they had intended with it. But we need people in the metaverse. And the only industry actually that succeeded in doing this is actually the gaming industry, because they are little metaverses. And the gaming industry is bigger than the music and the movie industry combined. So you can imagine how big this industry is. So they already made this a success. So we're focusing on gaming. So coming back to the question then, we do have a part that we call the wildlands, and people can do more there than in the rest of the game. Why? They will be able to, for instance, that's what Quinten is working on as well. Pieter Jan, actually, his colleague, because it's a bit different. Pieter Jan, that's a very Dutch Belgian name. But so they will be able to move their house around and stuff like that, and even upgrade their house. But we will do it within limitations. Some of these metaverses, not all of them, by the way, there are more who stick a bit to their style. But some of these metaverses, you can just buy yourself a house or create yourself a house and put it there. But what's the gamer going to think if he sees all these ugly houses? Yeah. So, we're building the towns now, and also the houses that come along with that. And I think actually that people like it a lot, that we are very strict with the design, because it's really going to be an amazing looking game. And in order to keep it like that, we do need to limit a bit. But they can go off to the wildlands and do their stuff there, because there's always a group that wants to have more freedom. But in your house, you can do more, of course. Or if you have a gallery, or if you have a shop, go in and do whatever you want there. So there will be way less limitations there. So you will still have a lot of options. And me and Tatjana, we were actually thinking of maybe adding a real estate agent agency in the game, where people can throw their design to these real estate agents. They first need to approve on the design, and then you can throw it in the game. For instance, stuff like that. So the options are limitless, actually. So these are things that we are working with as well, always trying to find creative ways to limit the limitations.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
I hope you know what I mean. Yeah, but design is for us the main goal. It needs to be attractive for gamers.
Yeah.
As long as I assume it's probably your main vision is really just to keep it all in the same format, like looking the same and stuff. You don't want somebody building SpongeBob's house right down the road from a giant skyscraper. You want to make sure that it's all kind of niche related, Earthlings related, more or less.
That's the thing. Yeah, it will throw off a lot of gamers because they come in for the gameplay and the quality and the look and feel of that, and we need to guard that. But we will have sections like the Wildlands that where you can go loose and do whatever you want.
I will be building my castle out in the Wildlands.
Yeah, it's all about that immersion. It helps keep people glued to the game, So,
but also, sorry. Yeah, but also it's an always evolving process, of course. So while building it, we will probably also find other ways to make a certain group of people who do like more variation or whatever, make them happy as well. But it's just main thing is stick to great design and gameplay, and we always first look at gamers and then at the rest. But the metaverse will be a very big part of it as well.
Yeah. And that can, speaking of the Wildlands, that can lead us into our next question of what are your guys' land options like? I know you guys have a bunch of different land and not like a bunch, but like you have a couple different land option NFTs. How are those going to work?
Yeah, we've got we just sold the towns and the villages. And the towns, so you can be a mayor of a town, and then that is cool. People want the towns. I do like the villages as well, but people want the towns, and then you can have 18 other people assigning their land plot. Let's say if I say single house plot, maybe that's an easier explanation, but we call the land plot. They can allocate their land plot in your town. So you can have 18 people in your town that also generate you income, steam income. So we'll have a whole economy with things going on there as well. So the town owners, they want these people to come into their town, and they can use each other's NFTs as well and gameplay. So there's a lot of. This is such a broad subject that I won't go into it too deep. But same for the villages. You can be the village chief, and you own the whole village. But other people can still place their plot in your village. So they'll own that little piece of land, of course. But you, as the town owner, you have a big part of the town that you can decide what to do with. For instance, you'll get 2 shops in your town, and you can rent them out, or you can use them yourself to sell your NFTs or whatever you want to sell in there. So you can link it to a real shop or an NFT shop. So as we build, we will expand the possibilities as well, of course, maybe even rent it out as a meeting space for people to, or have people have a party there, or whatever. So you have a lot of options. You can have you can allocate a train station in your town, and every time someone onboards a train in your train station, you get a little percentage of that steam earned with that ticket. So things like that. What else is there? So we've got the cabin. The cabin is we didn't throw that out yet, but the cabin will be in more remote areas. Maybe even on the floating islands. Who knows? Right. Can't say too much here because people screenshot and copy paste everything I say. And even when I say, they know how to make a screenshot of that. So I'm going to have stuff like that. And they are very limited in numbers. these cabins, they will attract more wildlife and make other things easier for you. So if you want to look for rare animals, for instance, capture them, and there's going to be a whole process in there as well. It's not going to be a simple taming mechanism and then that's yours. And no, it's going to be more than that, because we want everything to be a gameplay. But it starts with that, of course. But then you can find more of these animals and sell them and upgrade them and whatever.
Nice.
So there's more, but
so much more.
So with the towns, villages,
so much to this project.
Towns, villages, cabins, land plot. I'm forgetting one, but
will you be able to sell? Will you be able to sell any other NFTs, not Earthlings related, in these shops?
Yeah, if it's your shop, you can do whatever you want.
And then also, my other question was, would you? So there are train stations. Are you going to be able to fly like to other countries? Like, will there be planes, or will there be helicopters?
Yeah. We already have the sketch ready for the big airship. So we're building that as well. So there's going to be a transatlantic Atlantic line
filled with hydrogen.
With the first. No. But do you know the story? Do you know the story behind that? They boycotted the Germans, and that's why they couldn't get this. I think it's helium they use now.
Helium as well.
The safe gas. Yeah, and that doesn't burn, I think. But hydrogen, yes. But they couldn't get helium anymore, the Germans. So it's the safest way to travel. But the Hindenburg, and that's just a brand. It's actually a rigid airship. But the Hindenburg. Everyone knows the Hindenburg because of that. But it's not fair. Airships are the safest, most economic way to travel. So yeah, we threw them in there. You can go around the world with these things on next to nothing. It is more complex, by the way, than people think. Can I divert a bit from this? Yeah, come on, let's have I worked for a guy who wanted to reinvent these airships. So that's how I know a bit more about it. And I said, well, it's easy. You just fill it up with gas and up you go. Nah, it's not that easy, because the thing is, when you go up, the air gets thinner. So the gas expands. So you get more lifting pressure. But the thing is, you don't want to go too high. You don't want to go all the way into space. So, but another problem is, so you want to go, your balloon wants to go higher, but you also spent some fuel already as well from your engines. So you're also lighter. So you see the problem already. So you don't want to go too high. You still need to go back down. So you drop some air, but well, you can see the problem going here. So it's not as easy as just filling it up with air and going up and down. There's more to it. So, but still, they solved that, of course, and airships are the safest way to travel. And environmental friendly as well.
Amazing.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah. Sorry, guys.
It's
just like this.
I'm learning.
Yeah, and I am too.
I probably said it wrong, but someone will correct me anyway. But it's more complex than just going
what
up
I
and down.
What I like to do, Patrick, is just throw not financial advice behind everything I say.
Yeah. Great. Yeah. I agree on that.
Yeah. So what made you guys actually choose HBAR?
That's a very easy question, actually. Not as that easy in the beginning, because I did have HBAR in my portfolio, but I did not know too much about it. I was more known with other chains. But while researching, when we came to the part when we need to really decide on, okay, where are we now really going to build? So I've got these options. Shall we go for this, that, or that? And Marcel, me, and Jorgo, we all looked at it, and Jorgo had the biggest say in this, because Jorgo, he needed to connected the dots together, of course. So we looked at some options. Some were not too safe. Not gonna name names. Everyone knows. Others were insanely difficult to build on. That's maybe so. And for us, of course, one of the things that was important for us were the low transaction fees. So then, of course, these new emerging chains, there are many, but I think Hedera tops them all. And then I told Jorge, okay, look at Hedera, please. And so he did. And he was amazed by the fact that it was already, at that time, I think it was on spot 36 on CoinMarketCap. And he was amazed that he didn't know a top 40 coin. He said, how did I never hear of this? And maybe a lot of people still have this, but I think the coming years, this will change a lot, of course, because I think Hedera is going to explode, especially with all the partners and the things they're doing. Anyway, so, well, he did a deep dive in it. Actually, it only took him 2 hours, and he said, yes, I can build on this. He said, it's amazing. It's so much easier, and it's safe, and it's so much easier to build on this than on the other chains that you already showed me. So there was one chain that was even easier because it had all these apps already. You just plug and play. But if safety is is an issue, then it's out of the issue, of course, to go for a chain like that. So and Jorge only fell in love with it more and more and more. And that was for me important, that we could easily access it programming wise, and that was for Jorge very easy to do. They had a great community to help you out with questions as well. Other projects, for instance, like Hashback, they reached out to us very early on already. We've got a great connection with those people with Hashback, that team as well, doing Twitter Spaces a lot with them as well. But their support also helped us. If you have any questions, you reach out to these projects or even the community. Yeah, that helped us a lot. So transaction fees were just an extra bonus. It's amazing. I've been in another. Sorry, I'm gonna make it longer. I've been in another space with another project came along, another blockchain, and they were bragging about how things are now going to change. They're going to have new tools about with making it cheaper, the transactions. Even if the price goes up, they still have some feature built in that it's not too expensive. I didn't say anything, but I'm like 0.0001. It was difficult. It was difficult, but I didn't say anything. So because there's not a one to rule all blockchain. I know that. You've got. I like Mercedes. I like Audi as well. But Ford is a good brand as well. Sure. There's space for more. But now that I'm more into this chain, I think Hedera is going far. Yeah. Very far.
I completely agree with you on that one.
Over 2 billion wallets currently. I mean, adoption's coming as we see it.
They're like the rigid airships on the blockchains. They can go endlessly.
You're right.
And cheap. Yeah.
Endless scalability, low transaction fees, asynchronous Byzantine fault tolerances.
We didn't. I haven't had a single moment of regret building on or with Hedera, because we're building also with Unreal Engine, but it's all integrated. Yeah. Well, you know what I mean.
Yeah, I actually just thought of a question related to that. How have you guys been implementing the crypto side of things into your game, like using a regular sort of mainstream game engine? Game engine.
But that's also always, I always find it a difficult question, because you can take it in so many ways. You can see, for instance, do you mean how we implement, for instance, the consensus service? Because NFTs,
sure.
You know all about NFTs and how that works, of course. So let's say the consensus service, that is something that we are now exploring more and more and more as well, because now that we're building mini games, we're starting our first one. Because it's a long build what we're doing, and we want more engagement with the community as well. And also, if you throw out your Steam token, and it's a utility token, but you do need to have utility. So that's why we decided. So there's more reasons to already build these mini games. But to prevent cheating, for instance, we're looking in how to connect that to our first mini game.
That's cool. I like that a lot.
Yeah, but Yeah, it is difficult. But if you, for instance, if I want to build a mini game on my browser, someone could just take the code off, program himself to have a zillion Steam tokens, put it on back on. That's a simplified version, okay? Quentin would probably explain it better, okay? So put it back online, and there you go. He's got 1 million Steam tokens. You want to prevent that, and by having good programmers and having some hackers go on there and see and stress test your programming, yeah, you can come a long way. But I asked Milan to research now together with Jorgo the possibility to add another layer of security with the consensus service. I've got no clue how to do that. I just know that if you use that, then it's going to be so hard to cheat. But there's, of course, limitations with everything. So that's what we are now looking into. And of course, these services you can use as well in the game as well. Another thing, Milan came up with a very cool name for that. And I forgot, of course, because it was a very cool new name. But what you can now do is you can have these, let's just call them smart NFTs. What you can do, for instance, if you have played a couple of hours and your durability goes up for your avatar, then you can do it so that every now and then it changes these numbers on your NFT. So if you go to your wallet, you see that these numbers of the durability are higher. So you can do that with a lot of these things, level up, all this stuff. You can really interact with the blockchain, with your NFT and your gameplay. So I think that's super cool. So add-ons and stuff, even changing the image and stuff like that. I think that's amazing. And you can't, I don't see that happening yet with regular gameplay. Well, they don't use NFTs, of course.
Great point.
Yeah, so stuff like that. We're looking into stuff like that.
Metadata is very, very important, especially for like a game, specifically what you guys are trying to do. So that you know, you can have all these levels, and if you look at, you know, all of them on Zeus, like, how are you going to know the difference between them if the metadata isn't updated and you can't like filter or anything by that? So,
yeah, if you've played 100 hours and you're Mr. Banks, one of our avatars is like really a badass, upgraded level 10 and durability to the sky, then you can see that back into the NFT. You know, I think that's so cool.
That's amazing. Will you guys have evolving NFTs? So, like, say if somebody builds something on the plot of land that they own, and then they want to go out and sell it, will that plot of, like, will whatever they built on the land come with the NFT, if they desire?
Yes, I think yes. Yeah, I think yes. Let me double check that with Quentin and the rest of the team, of course. But the way I'm seeing it, yeah, because that's actually one that goes. No, that doesn't go a step further. It's actually the same, I guess, as the interactive NFT that we just spoke about. So my guess is yes, but I also learned to be very careful with what I'm saying this early on. So I'm saying I think yes, okay, instead of saying yes. Sure. But yeah, I think those are adopted. It is something that I would like to see. Yeah, let's say
it's just like buying and selling real estate at that point. I mean, say somebody else builds something that somebody else likes, you know. Yeah. So I mean,
I don't see why not. So I don't see it any other. This is how I envision it. So and I don't see why we couldn't do that. So in my opinion, at this point, I would say yes.
Well, that's great to hear. I have one last question for you today, Patrick. I'm not too sure if Corbin has any more, but my last question for you is, so what's happening behind the scenes? What are you currently working on, and what can we see next from Earthlings?
There's a lot of stuff going on behind the scenes. Yeah, I can't spoil everything, spill everything out here, of course. How do you say that? Spoil? I can't tell anything. Okay. Not my first language, guys. So, what we're doing now is we're trying to ramp up marketing a lot. Doing more YouTube interviews like these as well. We like to do that. but also we're doing weekly Twitter space now. My brother and I are doing it every 2 weeks, and Milan and Joey are doing it every 2 weeks as well. So that makes an Earthlings Twitter space every week. Working on a lot of partnerships on the background as well, but those are the things that I can't tell too much about it. First needed signatures and stuff. So, but that's those are things that we are working on the background. The thing is, I think we are now a bit in a phase where we're building a lot of big things, like the towns. It's a bit of a disappointment that I needed to rebuild them, as I said, because the studio disappointed me a bit. So, but they're going to be amazing. But you find yourself sometimes in these stages of development where it looks like it's a bit quiet, but that's because we're building all these big things and they take a little bit more time. So sometimes you'll go quiet for 1 or 2 months, and then all of a sudden you throw out a lot. Another thing that we are building, not building, but drawing out now, because we had the storyline, storyline written out now. And we have a sketch artist that we've onboarded quite a while ago, and he's making the pictures to go along with the storyline. So that's something that I like. That's very cool. Of course, what Quentin is doing is a bit boring to say because it's all programming and stuff, and I don't have any images for that. But he did do some cool stuff that we're going to show in a while
Exciting.
as well. So yeah, we're doing a lot behind the scenes. Most important is we're still building and ramping up the build every day. I guess that should answer your question a bit, but the most exciting things to show are in a few weeks when we have these new scenes and new animals. By the way, we're making a lot of new animals because that was lagging a bit behind the avatars. So doing work actually on all fronts of the game.
Amazing. So scenes and animals are basically what's up next.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, new sceneries. We already threw out a lot of sceneries, of course, but but I'm very, very excited about the towns that are going to come out next. And indeed, we're creating now a set of NFTs for the animals, and I think people are going to like that as well.
That's great.
Look forward to it.
Yeah, absolutely. I have one last question as well. What are the available jobs and skills that players can sort of implement in the game? Right now, at least. I'm sure that can expand many times over as time goes on.
It's actually... I said already, you can... I don't know if you can see that as a job, but I'll get to the jobs as well. Being a train station owner, it's kind of a job. If you own an airship, you could probably you can pick up someone for instance who is in distress, and you can then taxi him or her out of this situation. But also if you have another way of transport, you can sort of be a taxi driver and pick up players and bring them to other places. So if you do that, then you can again earn a little steam. So there's things like that. That's what we're thinking of, having these little. So not only shops but also transport, for instance. I think that's that's going to be cool to see people saving other people, or just having a gamer who wants to go from A to B a bit faster, but he just started out, but he did find some steam in the game, and a fraction of that he can pay for having a ride with a fellow gamer or a landowner who has this stuff. That touches a little bit on something else, because in the new white paper you can read a bit about the gamer plots, because if you have a town or a land plot, you can also assign someone to a gamer plot that belongs to you. So these gamers, they play for you actually. Everything they earn in the game, you get a little percentage of that. So that's amazing, and that's a great incentive to have landowners draw in the gamers, telling their nephew or their gym buddy, hey, I've got a great game, looks good as well, even though it's a blockchain game. I have a free plot for you, so come and play, and then we'll play together. So that's a great incentive to destroying these gamers. So, yeah, bit long answer again.
No need to apologize.
You'll get paid to pick up hitchhikers.
Yeah, that, you can say it like that. Yeah, but there's more possibilities. But asking me on the spot, then I always like, oh, what were the options again? Yeah. So, but you can read all about it in the white paper, guys.
Yes.
Go to
25 pages long, tons of information that we could not really cover here. But we'll definitely have you back on, Patrick.
Yeah, that's for sure.
And as soon as we have more stuff to show, then I'll keep in touch and I'll let you know, because there's some exciting stuff going on and coming, and we'll be here for a long while. So there can be many more.
We'll be here with you, that's for sure. I mean, that covers it for me. Corbin, anything else? Good.
No, I'm good.
Cleared everything from you as well. Yep. Patrick, thank you once again for all of your time, all of your effort. Everybody a part of the Earthlings team, if you listen to this point, thank you as well for your time and effort towards contributing towards the success of Earthlings. And with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, this has been the Alt Kings podcast, and we will see you all next episode. Peace.